Hello, and today we're going to be using Onshape to create drawing pages to display information about a part we created in Onshape. So I'm just going to start by opening one of these parts I already have. From there, I need a drawing page, so I'm going to hit the plus sign to get a new drawing page. So I do plus and then create drawing. From there, I've recently used this template, so I'm going to start with my template. If you don't have that template, you can select one of the default templates in here, but for my course, you want to use that template. We hit OK. Then it uploads our template page, and it's already set for our part to come in. Right now it says part 1. To show you how to change the name, if we come over here to Part Studio 1, down here where it says part 1, if you haven't changed it, you can just right click and rename, and in this case I'm going to name it ISO 7 because that's what that object is. I can also change the whole Part Studio name down here at the bottom, so I'm going to rename that ISO 7 as well. So then, and when I go back to my drawing page down here on the bottom, you can see, you can see once I insert it, that it's going to include that ISO 7 as the name. So when we come down, ISO 7 is our name. Once you click on it, it lets you put it on your page. Typically, the front view is going to be on the lower left-hand side, so we're going to start with that front view, and that's going to be also be referred to as our base view. So I'm going to start with that lower left. That places it in that location. And then in this case, I'm going to come up above it and make what's called a top view, where I'm looking at it if I'm looking straight down on my object. And it makes that shape for me. Then we're also going to, in this case, since it's our first time we're looking at these, we're going to make a side view and an ISO view as well. You don't always need all the views. So the side view, I just click on my base view and I come over to the side. And then we have an ISO. To get our isometric view, we again just hit on our base view and then we come up to the top right of our drawing page and then we select. Now that we have all our different views, I'm just going to hit escape to exit my objective view tool. On this top right, the isometric view, I want to make that one shaded. So I'm just going to right click on it and say show shaded view. Sometimes you have hidden lines. In this case, we don't have much to deal with hidden lines, but I can show you on the right-hand view. We can right-click and say Show Hidden Lines, and it's going to show you any hidden lines in that object. So you can see that it becomes a dotted or dashed line. In these other views, we're not going to have any hidden lines to see, but you could do that as well. It just in this particular object, we don't have any hidden lines to show. Once you have your object's placed, then typically you want to dimension that object and show the different heights and values for that object. So the goal is to show the least amount of information with enough information that someone can create that object you're showing. So to dimension, we have a dimension tool up here on the top. You just click on it. There's different options. If you go down, you can do like a 2-point linear, point to point, line to line, lots of different options. If you just dimension, then I can click on a solid line and it's going to let me dimension that line. So I could dimension a solid line on here. So like I could hit that bottom line, or I could hit this vertical line. If I want to, I can go point to point. I will point to line, so I'm going to start doing that. So I clicked on my bottom point, and then I clicked on the point above it, at the point on my baseline, and I got a value of 1. I pull it to the side and between the objects, and I place my measurement. And then I'm going to continue dimensioning. So next one, I'm going to go from the bottom to this back point. And I'm just going to pull that one out a little farther, and again, I want to keep my value in between those. Then I'm going to go all the way from the bottom to the top. You can do that bottom top, or you can just click on this outside line, and that gives us a value of 5 there. So now I have all those values for my cut in. Then I'm going to want some for my depth of my object, how deep that object goes, or how wide that object is. So I'm going to go far side to far side, and that gives me a value of 10. I'm going to put that up above. I'm also going to go for the small triangle in the back, and I'm going to set that value as 4. Then I'm also going to go from here to here, get that value of 3. You can see it's getting a little crowded above, and I knew it would, so I have some space on this top object. I'm going to get this top front cut out. So I'm going to get that 8, and I'm also going to get from here to the edge as 1. And that just makes it a little less cluttered down here on the bottom. But now I have everything on the front, everything on the back. I don't know how wide this thing is, so I'm going to put that on this top view. I'm just going to go from the top to the bottom to the top, or front to back in this case, and move to the side. And again, I'm putting it between those objects. You can see we haven't done anything on this side view. So since I'm not using that side view, if I don't have any information on it, it's not showing any important information, then you don't actually need it on your sketch. It's just extra information cluttering up your space. You can right click and delete that. So now we just have those two images, and then all isometric so we can see what it looks like. Again, you want to dimension between the objects whenever possible, and this just gave us all linear dimensions in this case. So hopefully this helps get you started on creating drawing pages. Good luck.